What up, y'all? Forward favorite man, BigBossFabo back again with a video, man. We're doing a reaction to Did You Know, when we have Waitress serve man and MAGA hat. Saw a note on check and burst into tears, man. This channel kind of specializes in these stories that are clickbaited in a weird way, but then like it doesn't have anything to do with what's actually going on in the video or the story. Kind of throws you for a loop. So let's go ahead and hop into the video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. I appreciate everybody taking time out to watch my videos. Check out the interesting stuff playlist. Link provided in the description as well as pinned in the comment section down below, man. Let's get into the video. Let's get into the video.
An unexpected encounter between Waitress and red-hatted customers with shocking results. Rosalind Harris is a waitress who works 2 jobs just trying to make ends meet so that she can pay her college tuition fees. During one of the busiest weekends of the year, she was working her shift at the Washington restaurant Busboys and Poets when a group of Texan men walked in with their conspicuous red hats sticking out like a sore thumb in that particular establishment, with its very laid-back artistic vibe that is known for being a meeting place for civil rights activists, artists, and poets. Rosalind's first thought was they might be looking for trouble. At first, the 25-year-old waitress was instinctively nervous about serving them and hoped they weren't there to make any trouble for her or for the other customers. This wasn't the first time that Rosalind had encountered trouble in her restaurant, but these men were on another level of intimidating and spooky. After a while, she realized that her initial thoughts may not have been fair, as she could not hide all her fears. But she still wasn't expecting what she found on the table. She couldn't believe her eyes. The 25-year-old is a professional dancer, and her work as a waitress is a means to an end, a way to put herself through college. She works hard, and the last thing she wanted was for any customer drama to occur. The weekend that this unexpected incident took place is significant.
What the hell, bro?
Significant to the story. It was the weekend of 2 majorly important marches in Washington that weekend. The inauguration of the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, and the Women's March. Funnily enough, both parties in our story were at a march that weekend, but while those in the red hats were at the inauguration, Rosalind was at the Women's March. She was also not the biggest Trump fan, so when these men walked in wearing those infamous red MAGA hats, she instantly took against them. They were mortal enemies, after all, and they were on her turf. It was a fateful lunchtime for both parties that day, as they would both learn a lot. When Jason and his friends walked into Busboys and Poets, the place went silent, looking at the group in disbelief, including Rosalind. Rosalind immediately made 2 quick assumptions about the small group. Firstly, that they had come from out of town, and secondly, that they were in Washington to celebrate the inauguration of the new president. Namely, that a group of Trump supporters had no idea what Rosalind's left-wing cafe was, given that they had casually strolled in. These gentlemen were clearly out of their depths.
I ain't gonna lie, that's what's wrong with the majority of the world, bro. Everybody just assumes, like, obviously as people we can't help it, right? We tend to go off of what we know, what we understand, what we've seen in the world. But like, man, she saw them. She assumed they was out of place. They had MAGA hats, man. It's a problem. It's an issue. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's sad that we live in and we will continue to live in a world to where you will never get, 9 times out of 10, you won't get the benefit of the doubt. People judge you without understanding and knowing you. People's perception of how life is affects them even creating how they even go about developing a relationship with you or others. You know what I'm saying? Like, past experiences tend to kind of obviously mold and shape someone's life, which I'm not expecting it not to. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a sad place because sometimes you tend to miss out on beautiful things or beautiful people or relationships or a network you could have had just due to maybe a misunderstood upbringing or just like being misinformed.
The problem with modern politics is that people will assume a whole shopping list's worth of qualities in you once they discover what your political affiliation is. When people see Trump supporters, they often assume that they are bigoted, aggressive, or worse, members of a far-right group. Not everyone wearing a MAGA hat is an extremist. Jason White and his friends had indeed come all the way from Texas to celebrate the election results in the capital city, as they were thrilled by the turnout. He believed that it was only right that an American should support their president. The 37-year-old is a big family man, with a close-knit network of friends and a dentist back in his hometown in Texas. He is a completely normal individual with a normal life. To be honest, the Redcaps caught everyone's eye first, as they just seemed so out of place in such an establishment. Rosalind didn't say anything to them about the caps, but Jason quietly suggested to the others that they take them off while they were having lunch in the restaurant, as you can imagine. Jason said that when they went inside to sit down, they started getting looks. I told my friend, "You need to take your hat off."
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with physical products.
You need to take your hat off. I don't want people to think we're coming in here to flaunt. We're just coming here to have lunch. Jason wondered about the restaurant bookstore's history and asked Rosalind about it. She was only too happy to answer their questions, being sure they had never experienced a place quite like it. Rosalind told the three men that busboys and poets were named after poet Langston Hughes, a key figure in African American literature. He was the pioneer of the jazz poetry form. He was a cultural, social, and political icon who today holds a legendary status. After taking their orders, Rosalind let the group enjoy their lunch, thinking that that would probably be the end of the encounter. But was it? An hour or so later, Jason and his friends finished their lunch and left the restaurant after saying thank you and goodbye from afar. Rosalind would have liked to have seen the guys off properly. When Rosalind arrived at the table to clean up and pick up the check, she noticed it was covered in words. At first, she thought it was just a careless scribble, until she looked a little closer and it became clear. Rosalind picked up the note and started to read. After the first few words, she realized this was a personal message specifically for her. We may come from different cultures and may disagree on certain issues. If everyone would share a smile and kindness like your beautiful smile, our country will come together as one people, Jason wrote. Not race, not gender, just American. God bless. Rosalind was truly touched by Jason's note. The idea of how far a smile can go really invigorated her positivity. Not only that, but the total
and that's beautiful and all, like the sentiments all there, bro. But my only thing is, like, we should come together like this as a world, as humanity, bro. Yeah, we proud to be American, right? We proud to be Americans and all that, but I think it's about world unity. I think when other countries can connect in this manner, in the ways people in their own countries, stand up and connect with each other, that's where we'll definitely get a step forward. We'll make some headway. I think just only aligning with one's country, like, that doesn't really get us further. Of course, there's a lot of segregation and division naturally in America, but there's that all over the world, other places as well. But I think unity overall is what it's about. Imagine a lot of world wars would never even happen, or we wouldn't even have continuations of what is to occur in the future if people in other places could get along. I mean, we're technically battling each other. I was about to say Americans aren't warring with each other, but I mean, everybody's got their own battles and things that they're warring, going to war for within themselves or within, their day to day. But I think we should take it a step further than just trying to be cool with Americans, bro. Be cool with people outside the country. Oh, I don't see people outside the country. That's irrelevant to me. Where would I meet someone else? It's the idea, bro. It's not about literalness. And then, when you come across someone of the sort, then, it'll probably be able to relate to you and you'll be able to understand that point in time and know how to move. But I think it's more so the idea and the belief system, bro, of just peace and world peace. It's not about literally being able to go to Africa and be cool with an African. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just about the idea, the belief, the love within one's heart to have respect, care, appreciation for other individuals, no matter where they come from.
Cost of the check for the three's lunch came in at $72.60. So Rosalind was utterly astounded when she saw they had left a tip of a whopping $450. Jason hadn't even told his friends what he was doing. This was not some grand scheme that he and his pals had come up with. Rather, it was a spontaneous gesture that Jason had thought up after meeting the warm waitress. Both the lovely heartfelt words and the hefty tip were such wonderful gestures that Rosalind felt extremely touched and emotional. Not only were the words extremely moving for Rosalind, there was also no denying that the generous tip came at a perfect time for her. She had just taken on extra shifts because she had to move apartment and didn't know if she'd have enough cash to pay any upfront costs. Rosalind said that she may have been guilty of prejudice too, and the men had left her with more than a generous tip. It reminded her that many Americans want unity regardless.
She was, bro. It's not may have been, bro. She was. It's a thing. Oh, they got MAGA hats. They're evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh. You know what I'm saying? That's the prejudgment, assuming.
Of their politics. Even though neither Rosalind or Jason posted any information about the exchange on social media, it soon went viral after a coworker of Rosalind's put a photo of the receipt on Twitter. Soon enough, the story captured the attention of millions, putting both Jason and Rosalind in the public's consciousness. While doing an interview, Rosalind surprised Jason with a call on FaceTime. It was the first time the two had interacted since their fateful encounter at Busboys and Poets. The two finally got to catch up after everything they had been through since then. Rosalind reached out to Jason a few weeks later, and they reconnected. They talked about their political differences and how they could still have a friendship despite their disagreements.
How's that the first thing y'all talk about,
Over various
man?
dinners, Rosalind and Jason engaged in
politics ain't gonna get people nowhere, dog. You know, what's for me is for me, what's for you is for you. To align that with, you know, I just, politics ain't gonna build better relationships and greater bonds amongst people. It's just love and unity and peace, bro. It's not about, you know, I think politics is probably one of the biggest things that will cause a divide. Oh, we got together and the first thing we discussed is politics and our differences. You know what I'm saying? If people get together and start discussing their similarities, it's game over. When people just talk about, oh, we're different, talking about difference, only, I think, subconsciously, even if you probably won't even admit it, it's naturally implanting the seed of, you know, separation, so to speak. That's the word I'm looking for. It's naturally planting that. When someone's different from something, they don't typically align with it. People align with things that they're familiar with and they know and they like. So you get together discussing differences with people. I don't necessarily, it's good to understand those things, but I think when people who are naturally different, right, and it's face value, like, we're different, bro, we're not the same, but then can peel the layer back and see the similarities amongst themselves, that's where the bond comes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about talking about how different we are, even though it's understood, but talk about, even though we grew up on different sides of the tracks, even though you're white and I'm black, even though, you know, I went to college and you didn't, you know, whatever it is, we still are human beings. We still love this and that. We still do this and that. We still share this and that. At that point, I think you can build some rapport.
Political debates that got heated at times. They both realized how passionate they were about their beliefs, but also respected each other's opinions. After several friendly conversations, Jason asked Rosalind out on a date. She hesitated at first, unsure if their political differences would be too much to handle, but she decided to give it a chance. Rosalind's friends and family were initially skeptical of her dating a Republican Trump supporter, but Jason's kindness and respect for her beliefs helped them see him in a different light. Rosalind and Jason hit their first major obstacle when a controversial political issue caused a heated argument. They both realized they needed to find a way to respect each other's beliefs without letting it damage their relationship. After their argument, Rosalind and Jason decided to take a break from each other to think about whether they could overcome their political differences. After a few weeks, Rosalind and Jason met up to talk things through. They considered whether they should give their relationship another chance. Rosalind and Jason had a heart-to-heart conversation, and both admitted that they still had feelings for each other. They realized that they had a special connection that couldn't be found with someone who shared the same political beliefs.
You see what I'm saying?
As they got back together,
that's proof in its own that their feeling in love for each other trumped the politics.
And Jason.
So why even implement politics to begin with? If that's the thing that's going to create the divide, what's it even matter, bro? I don't think people marry for politics and their stances on their beliefs in terms of the government. You know what I'm saying? It's like just clown world, buffoonery, bro.
And made a commitment to learn and grow from each other. Through their struggles and perseverance, Rosalind and Jason's bond grew even stronger. They realized that their love for each other was more important than any political beliefs, and they made sure to prioritize their relationship above all else.
All I can say is as they should, bro. There you have it. She thought they was racist because he had a MAGA hat on. I was like, people be, oh my God, that's not what it was about. Relax, bro. I was just kidding, man. Let me know y'all thoughts on that one in the comment section below. Peace, love, prosperity, everybody, man. Interesting story. I was surprised, honestly, at the fact that they actually started dating each other. You know what I'm saying? I know it's going to get that far. Hopefully they flourishing right now. Peace, love, prosperity. Let me know y'all thoughts on that one in the comment section below. We'll catch y'all next time, man. God bless. We out.